Hey, it's Jason Rogers here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about procuring finance to make business acquisitions in 2020. Firstly, let's talk about the facts. The facts are that Donald Trump recently gave the SBA an extra $50 billion that banks can loan out to businesses that have been impacted by the coronavirus. Now, at the time of recording this, in middle of March in 2020, and I'm going to make a prediction here that this will continue for several months, virtually every business in America will be affected by the coronavirus if that business hasn't already been affected. And so here's the punchline. There's a lot of money out there if you know where to go. Now, if you're looking at small banks, they're probably pretty nervous right now. If you're looking to get traditional commercial finance from a small bank, my gut says they're pretty nervous right now. From some of the conversations I've had, they're a little bit nervous right now. They don't really know what's going to happen. Most banks that are private banks, especially if they're smaller, they're not going to want to take a leap of faith right now and lend money out on a fairly risky business acquisition, especially if you're not a group that has a ton of operational experience. And candidly, if you have a ton of operational experience, you're not watching this video because you already know how to get bank finance, right? So let's just call a spade a spade. Now, that all said, if you're a newer operator, you're a newer entrepreneur, you've yet to make an acquisition, or you've only made one or two acquisitions and you're watching this video, and if you're in America, or if you're a foreigner that wants to get a foreigner's visa to make a business acquisition here through the SBA, now is a great time. And I'm not just speaking on theory. Yes, we can refer to this article right here, and you saw the speech that Donald gave. I mean, the SBA has been given an extra $50 billion worth of finance.
When I recorded this video in the middle of March, it was the $50 billion SBA program that had been instituted, but now there's been a $2 trillion stimulus plan, with over $300 billion of that going to small businesses. So, like I was saying, there's a lot of money out there right now.
But more importantly, I want to talk to you about my personal experience as a guy right now that has $925,000 business under contract, and I'm about to get another $1.7 million business under contract. We're going to have about a combined $2.7 million worth of businesses under contract that we're hoping to acquire in the next 2 or so months, subject to a successful due diligence phase, and of course the procurement of finance. But what I can tell you is I've been speaking with a host of bankers, and bankers have been calling me, especially since that release came out about the SBA from Trump, and they are very excited about working with us to get our deals done. Part of the reason, of course, is because they have the access to the capital. Another aspect is right now most buyers are scared because you know how it is. Most individuals, when everybody else is getting rich, they think, oh, I'm going to jump in and follow them. And when everybody else is afraid, most people just follow the herd, right? Human beings subscribe to groupthink far too often. But of course, if you're smart, you subscribe to the wisdom of individuals like Warren Buffett, and you know that when individuals are acting greedy, you should be fearful, and you know that when people are fearful, you should be greedy. And so what does that mean? Now that everybody is basically, oh my gosh, I'm afraid, I don't want to do anything risky, I don't want to take out any finance right now, I don't want to buy a business. Since that's how everybody else is thinking, what should you do? You should get out there and make offers and buy businesses. Now, you want to be strategic. You want to make sure that you're not going to buy a business that's just going to get ripped through, the floor because of the effects of what likely will be at least a short-term recessionary period. However, many sellers, in my opinion, are nervous that they might have missed the opportunity to sell. And if you come in and give them a reasonable offer, they will be very interested, especially if you can liquidate them, which of course the SBA allows you to do, because again, you're going to be giving that money from the bank. Well, really it's from the government, but the bank gives you the money and you give them the money and they get cashed out. And a lot of people right now would like to get cashed out because fear makes people uncomfortable. I mean, there are many individuals in the baby boomer age group and older who literally have heart conditions or respiratory conditions and health conditions in a way that makes this whole process right now of the coronavirus and all of the things that are happening right now just a very overwhelming process. I mean, they literally are just like, oh my God, get me out of here. This is like my nightmare. This is a worst nightmare. I want out. Just cash me out. Those are the business owners, obviously, that you want to work with because they want out and you have the chutzpah and the young heart, if you will, to get in when the going is a little tougher. And you know right now that the SBA is liquid and looking to make stuff happen. I've been receiving those calls from SBA lenders. I am telling you straight, this is legitimate. Now, there's other ways you can get your deals done right now. Of course, seller finance is one of the ways. If you're dealing with a seller that really wants to get out, there's always the opportunity for them to carry the first position loan. And that is a very real way to get a deal done. done. That's how I got my first deal done. That stuff works. You know, there's always private lenders as well. Something to the effect of a private lender or a hard money lender, and they have different names and shapes and disguises, if you will, but ultimately these are private lenders that are able to give you quick approval times. Admittedly, your interest rates are usually going to be a bit higher here, but given how much interest rates have generally been dropping as of late because the Fed has been pumping a ton of money into the marketplace, and based on a whole bunch of other factors we're not going to talk about in this video, but based on all these different factors, capital is cheap right now. Capital is cheap right now. Quantitative easing for years and years and years has helped make that a reality. So what that means is even expensive capital is still, especially in a first position note, most likely going to be single digit interest rates. And that's not too shabby. If your deal is hot and you can't make it happen on a single digit interest rate, then it's not that hot of a deal. Ultimately, that's just the punchline. But look, finance comes to those who do the work to have hot deals. If your deal isn't good, you won't get it financed. And equally, if your deal's hot, you'll have a whole bunch of competition to get your deal financed, and that'll make all the difference in the world. So it really comes down to you doing the hard work, like I've talked about in prior videos here on the channel, making the calls, sending out the emails, making the visits. Now, although right now you might not be able to physically make the kinds of visits like you normally would given the coronavirus, but you still can use Skype or Zoom or other platforms like that, even FaceTime using your iPhone, and you can talk to people, you can make stuff happen, get creative, get ambitious, get in the game. It's time. Let's roll. Hey, it's Jason Rogers. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up the video, and for more, go to jasonpaulrogers.com.